Plans to extend badger culls to stop the spread of TB in cattle in England have been put on hold. That's after a report which found that there were failures in the way it worked, it wasn't effective particularly, and also whether it was humane. That's another question. The Environment Secretary Owen Paterson said the cull would continue in pilot areas despite opposition from animal welfare groups. Labour's pretty cross about it all, says he's guilty of unscientific fudge, and we'll hear from him in a moment. But first let's get a report on what's happening on the ground. Claire Marshall at a badger set in Dorset. Claire.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. We're in a wood just outside Dorchester near Thomas Hardy's birthplace. Now, we're standing beside a large badger set. There's about 12 entrances I can see, some of them obviously more in use than others. This one here has got leaves and earth kind of coming out of it. They've obviously been having a spring clean inside. Now, these badgers will not now be targeted by marksmen at night. If you're a landowner with TB in your herd, this is a bitter disappointment. Here, though, is Andrew Butler. He's from the Dorset for Badger and Bovine Welfare Trust. It's obviously good news for you.
Well, it's fantastic news for the badgers here in Dorset, but obviously a bit of a disaster for those in Gloucestershire and Somerset. But here in Dorset, we're going to focus our efforts on vaccination. We've got an amazing project, the Dorset Badger Vaccination Project, which is going to be offering ferret-trained vaccinators who will go and vaccinate badgers on anyone's land, anywhere in the county. And it'll be means tested, so if people can afford to pay for it, then they will, and they'll pay at cost. But we will also be providing free vaccination for anyone who wants it.
So the first two pilot trials do seem to have been a bit of a costly and total failure, according to the government's own independent panel. Vaccine does seem to be the way forward in their point of view now.
Well, we've got the independent expert panel saying that the culls in Somerset and Gloucestershire were ineffective and they were also inhumane. We've had before that Lord Krebs with the randomised badger culling trials saying this is not the way forward. But we can look to Wales, where we see a drop in bovine TB, where they're vaccinating badgers and they're also improving biosecurity and clamping down on cattle movement controls. So we know that that's the way forward. That's what scientists are saying, and that's what people, including farmers here in Dorset, are starting to embrace.
But you can really imagine, I mean, TB is a massive issue for farmers, tens of thousands of cattle having to be slaughtered. It's a huge issue. You can understand why farmers are devastated.
Absolutely, and we are Dorset for Badger and Bovine Welfare, because we have farmers, we have landowners who are part of our membership. All of us are concerned about animal welfare, both badgers and bovines, but we listen to the scientists, which is something that it would seem Owen Paterson is not doing, who have unanimously said that culling badgers is not the way forward. Vaccination is where it's at.
Andrew Butler, thank you very much. Peter, back to you in the Environment Secretary.